Even though I was 14, I was actually a little bit older in life, not in numbers. And that was the attraction. And, you know, people think, oh, it was this. Not at all. I never had with him. He was very kind, very soft, very loving, but he also respected the fact I was only 14 years old.
And she has always defended and forgiven his crazy deeds.
You know, he wasn't faithful. Not that he had someone special, but when you're in the entertainment business, there is always that.
Priscilla met Elvis when she was only 14 years old and fell at the feet of the king, who at that time was 24 years old and already a superstar.
He was the package deal. I mean, his good looks, his voice, there is no one like him.
However, their relationship was not easy, as despite the incredible chemistry they had from the start, there were many obstacles they had to overcome to be together.
Very difficult for my parents to understand that Elvis would be so interested in me, and why.
And of course, she was just a teenager, and he was 10 years older, but he was also the musician of the hour and could have had any woman he wanted. But he wanted Priscilla.
And I really do think, because I was more of a listener, Elvis would pour his heart out to me in every way in Germany. His fears, his hopes, the loss of his mother, which he never ever got over. And I was the person who really sat there to listen and to comfort him.
Elvis fell madly in love with this young woman, as she gave him all the trust and support he needed.
Yes, he called me when he came back to the States. That was also part of our relationship, telling me all his woes and on what was happening and how upset he was on the screen with the director. And I don't know why he put so much trust in me, but he did. And I never, ever, ever told anyone that I was seeing him. And that was another issue that he loved, is the fact that I never gave him up in any way. I never told anyone at school that I was seeing him. So we built a relationship, and that relationship went on.
However, the close bond between them, which lasted while living in different countries for some years, did not mean that Elvis was entirely faithful to her, as the lifestyle he led as a rock star and celebrity came with a constant excess and temptations.
You know, he wasn't faithful. Not that he had someone special, but when you're in the entertainment business, there is always that. And I tried to turn my back to that, but I just didn't want to share him. Simple as that. As much as he wanted to be married and have a family, I don't know if he was ever cut to be married, because I don't think he could ever be faithful to one woman.
Priscilla tried to endure it as much as she could, and she has always said that she understood him.
But living a lifestyle of rock and roll, it's difficult. And especially rock and roll, because it's that old saying, you know, rock and roll, and it is there.
He was living that life.
They all did.
But eventually, she couldn't take it anymore, and without resentment, decided to leave him.
Until, yes, I left. And it wasn't because I didn't love him. He was the love of my life. It was the lifestyle that was so difficult for me. And I think any woman can relate to that. But it didn't mar our relationship. We still remain very, very close. And of course, we had our daughter. And I made sure that, you know, he saw her all the time. And it was like we never left each other.
Priscilla and Elvis divorced. He continued his wild life, and she just began to live hers. And after having been with him at the young age of 14, there were many things she could not do.
I was with his friends, and I was with the wives of his friends. They were pretty much chosen for me. So, and I got along with them very well, especially a couple of them.
Was it quite lonely? Did you find it quite lonely?
It was lonely in that I didn't have any information of what was going on with my age group. I didn't know really what was going on in the scene. I really didn't know what was going on with music because we listened really to his music. Not that there was anything wrong with it.
Over time, Priscilla realized that she had lived in a bubble and didn't even know who she was. She has never blamed Elvis for anything. However, as an adult woman, she decided it was time to live her own life and find herself.
As a woman, I didn't really know who I was.
And Elvis advised you on how to do your hair, how to do your makeup, how to dress?
Everything, even my clothes, everything. I realized that I don't know who I am. I mean, my considerations were his considerations. My fears were his fears. My likes were his likes.
Her personal life improved significantly once she separated from the King of Rock, because although she still loved him, she was not able to keep up with him. So she remained by his side only as a friend. On the contrary, Elvis' life began to decline. His life of excess and addictions took its toll and ultimately ended his life in 1977 at the young age of 42.
You never thought of him passing away because he was so strong.
This you can believe, I will never leave.
Well, no, he can't be. He can't be. This is a joke. This cannot be. It was shocking. Like to the world, only a million times more.
Although their marriage didn't last long, their relationship went on from the day they met, and Priscilla has always made it clear that Elvis was a good man to her, who never forced her to do anything she didn't want, and that the years they spent apart were never a problem.
He was the love of my life. It was the lifestyle that was so difficult for me. And I think any woman can relate to that. But it didn't mar our relationship. We still remain very, very close. And of course we had our daughter. And I made sure that, he saw her all the time. And it was like we never left each other. So I want to make that clear. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has left the building.